What's up, guys? graveyardtcg here. It's been a while since we've been on. A lot of technical difficulties, but we're back with bitch ass Gilly. What you got for us, buddy?
So I have a deck profile for Danger Dark World.
Okay, why'd you build it?
Oh, it's just a super wombo combo deck. It aims to like break boards and then just kill your opponent.
Is it like a fun deck?
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's actually not bad right now because its main weakness is Growing Lockbird, and nobody's playing it right now because it's bad in the format. So,
how much did you pay for it?
Oh, it's cheap. I got like 3 structured decks and like just maybe some expensive extra deck cards.
Damn.
Just like maybe 1 expensive card in the main, but like most of it's cheap.
Would you take it to regional?
No.
So it's like just like a fun deck then.
Yeah, it's a fun deck, but it's like if you're not prepared for it, it'll just like it'll destroy you.
How many cards are you running?
40, including 40 consistency. Yeah, you know.
Okay, let's see what you got. I know Dark World has been out for a minute. I saw they brought that support. So.
Yeah. So the first card is Rain Dukes. It has the effect when discarded to search for a level 5 or higher Dark World, and then if it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can not only add a level 5 or higher Dark World, special summon a fiend from your deck to either player's field.
Okay.
And then it has another effect where if it's in the graveyard, you can bounce one of your Dark Worlds that's on your field back to the hand to special summon it, and that effect's not once per turn. Well, both of the effects are not once per turn.
Whoa, you just fucking cheat it out.
Yeah, you loop them. That's the whole point. And we play 2 Grapha.
The commons?
Yeah.
What are you, 4, dude? Like, they're just about the OG ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when discarded,
I'm a rarity horse, so that's some poor stuff. But go ahead.
Look. I'm gonna be real. Most of the decks low rarity because I got it mostly from a structured deck. But I won a tournament in here with this deck, so whatever. And it wasn't even completed. That's
okay.
that just shows you how strong this deck is.
Okay.
So
skill level.
when it's discarded, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And if it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can also get to randomly choose 1 card in your opponent's hand. And if it's a monster, you special summon it also to your field. And as another effect, like Rain Dukes, where if you have a Dark World on your field, you can bounce it back to your hand and bring it back from the graveyard. And it's also, both effects are not once per turn also. So the whole point of the deck is to abuse your non-once per turn effects.
Gotcha.
We play 1 Sova. When discarded, reborns itself.
Yeah, of course.
And then when it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, it also reborns itself, but not only that, your opponent has to choose 2 cards in their hand and shuffle them back in the deck. And you loop this card, so you're ripping your opponent's hand before it even gets to their turn.
Grapha. Common. Ill.
Man. We're playing 3 Snow. When discarded, searches you for any Dark World card. When it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your field. It's just your main searcher.
Yeah, of course. Ash.
Yeah. Hand types don't do much in this deck. 3 Ganta, one of the new cards. Discard it to search for the Gates of the Dark World. As another effect, where if it gets banished while you have a Dark World card on the board, you can special summon it from your banished. It's pretty good.
Nice.
We play 1 Ceruli. This is the reason you get to hand loop your opponent with Sova. So when discarded, you special summon it to your opponent's board, and it forces your opponent to make you as the player discard a card.
Yeah.
So your Sova would then trigger and rip out 2 cards from their hand and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then we play 3 Gates of the Dark World. So banish a card, a fiend from your graveyard, discard a fiend, draw 1, discard 1. It's not once per turn, so if you get all 3 off, you can use the effect 3 times. 1 Dark World Archives. Has the effect to discard a card. All fiends on your field gain 100 times their level for the turn. As another effect, where if a Dark World card is discarded and it activated its effect, you can draw 2 cards.
That's a good card.
Yeah, it's really good. The whole point of the deck is just to draw your whole deck and just break everything. 2 Dark Corridors. A little bit of I think they're still expensive. So on activation, searches you a Dark World card, and then you discard a card. So it's really good. It gets your engine going.
Yeah.
We play 1 Dark World extension. Has the effect to fusion summon by discarding materials from your graveyard if you're using fusion summoning a Dark World card, and also allows you to banish the materials from the graveyard. But importantly as well, you can add it back to your hand from your graveyard by discarding a card. So it's really good. Now for the dangers, we play 1 Danger Bigfoot. Not only because it's obviously a danger, it's also level 8, and then it has the effect you reveal it, randomly choose a card in your hand. Your opponent randomly chooses a card in your hand. You discard it, draw 1, play him out. And if he gets discarded, you get to pop a card on the field.
So the whole package, basically.
Yeah, the whole package. You reveal randomly, special, draw 1. And if you discard it himself, he pops a spell or trap. So I'm just gonna go when they get discarded now, because all the effects are the same. When he gets discarded, he special summons a danger from the deck, and he has the normal danger effects. Tsuchinoko. When discarded, special summons itself from the graveyard. Chupacabra special summons a danger from the graveyard. 3 Mothman. When discarded, both players draw 1 card and discard a card. 2 Nessie. I would play 3 if I had more space, but I'm gonna keep it at 40. When discarded, searches you any danger. And that's it for the dangers. And now for the small package, we're playing 3 Gen and 1 Ken.
Ooh, what's that?
So basically, on normal summon, Gen special summons Ken to your opponent's board, and then Ken has a mandatory effect when summoned off of Gen to make the player who summoned the Gen discard a card and draw 2. So it also triggers your Silva to reborn itself and rip out 2 cards from your opponent. You know, and you can actually add this back to your hand later in the combo. And then summon it to your opponent's board to summon Gen. And when Gen gets summoned off of Ken, your opponent discards the card. You rip out the last card in their hand before it even gets to their turn. Honorary Dark Road card, 1 Salamander Catalyzer. It has the effect that you can reveal a card in your hand and himself. Discard 1, special summon the other. So what you do is just reveal like a Dark Road, discard it, special summon this, trigger your Dark Road. It's really good. It's also level 4, so it's really good. We played 1 Thrust, a little bit expensive right now. So the reason Thrust is broken in this deck is because you're forcing your opponent to activate cards for you, which turns on Thrust to search you any normal spell in your deck. Same thing with Talents. So your opponent's activating cards before it even gets to their turn because you're forcing them. You can either draw 2, rip out the last card in their hand, or take control of a card on the board. 1 card destruction, you discard your whole hand, draw that many cards. Procs all your Dark Roads. And then we're playing 3 trade-in, discard a level 8 to draw 2. Triggers your Grapple, triggers your Rain Dukes.
No Dark Road dealings? Wow.
No, dealings is bad because your opponent draws a card and chooses which card they want to discard.
Gotcha.
So it fixes their hand. So you can draw into more hand traps and stuff. You don't want that. That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we're on 1 Underworld Goddess to like annoying stuff. 1 star Yugioh. Usually you make this with 4 materials, and when it's made with 4 materials, you get to draw 4 cards and put back 3 back in your deck. And then not only that, you can special summon a level 4 lower monster from your hand. So it's really, yeah.
Just recycle.
Yeah, it fixes your hand and you draw more cards, you know? 1 Apollosa, that's part of your end board. You're ripping out their whole hand and you're putting up negates. It's really toxic. 1 Akashic, to bounce back the cards you give to your opponent, so that you can loop them again. 1 Security Dragon, to bounce back the cards you give to your opponent again, so you can loop them. 1 Croshy, this is to like link climb into Apollosa and stuff like that. Since you have a fusion in the deck, in the extra deck as well. 1 Mooncraker. Sometimes this helps like finish ripping out your opponent's entire hand, and you know it's part of your end board as well. 1 IP, part of your end board. You link on your opponent's turn, and then 1 Nightmare Phoenix. On play, discard a card, pop a spoiler trap on the field. I use it just throughout like floodgates, like rivalry or goals in match. Skill Drain doesn't do nothing to this deck. I'm actually siding Skill Drain. So yeah, that's why you play Nightmare Phoenix. 1 SP, so that you can go into it with the IP Masquerena. Banish a card on play, and then if your opponent activates any effects, you can banish a card on your field and any other card on the field. We play 1 Dugaris. You use it for the effect to just detach 2 materials to draw 2 cards and discard 1. So you're drawing even more cards. 1 Coach King Giant Trainer. Requires 3 level 8s. You can detach 1 material to draw a card, and if it's a monster, you reveal it. You burn your opponent for 500. And it's not once per turn, so you can detach all 3, draw 3, and then if they're all monsters, you burn them for 15. It's really good. 1 Baguska. This is mainly for going second. It's not really part of your end board, because most of your effects activate in the hand and in the graveyard. So Baguska, like turning off the whole board, doesn't really matter for you, because you can play through the whole board. You just want to turn off your opponent's entire board when you make this card. And then for the last card, we play 2 Grapha Fusions, the new one. All it requires is Grapha and any Dark Road. It has the effect that if your opponent activates any card, you turn their effect to the player who controls Grapha discards a card, which triggers all your Dark Roads. So it's technically a negate that also like pluses you like a million. And then when it's removed from the field by an opponent's card, you get to special summon a Grapha from your graveyard or banished, and you discard it. Both players discard a card.
Oh, that's a really fun deck, huh?
Yeah, it's really fun.
All right, Gilly, well, thanks for your time as always.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Oh, okay.